tập hợp đây để chuẩn bị đây. Lấy của mình đi, lấy cái danh thiếp của mình để mà giới thiệu này là
It's a Vietnam name. Vietnam name. Văn Sĩ is difficult to pronunciation. You call me Jack.
So here you can see difficult to say and pronounce.
Yeah.
Quite long.
I think I already sent you the.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we send support technical.
We are all, or we are waiting for any other.
Yeah, I think we can begin.
We can start.
Yeah.
So my name is Krzysztof. It is it's right in a different way, but in English it's Krzysztof. I represent Aplisens company. We together we start cooperation with your company in, I think 3 years ago, 2014. It's something like that. First of all, I would like to introduce our company. Mr. David saw the companies of the production, but you not. So I would like to first of all to show you how it looks like, where we are located, what we are doing, how we are doing, what technology we are using to convince you for the quality of the product, that we are using everything according to some ISO standard, according to European standard production. Yes. So first will be the presentation of the company. Then I would like to, for example, show you probably, I don't know if you had a chance to communicate and use the software of Aplisens, set the device. So I would like to say you more about the Aplisens product, mostly the smart one, because analog one we know that it is simple signal 4220. That's all. In this case, we have device advanced device with hard protocol, so we have fully access to the menu. We have fully program possibility to program this type of device using different type of source, locally or remotely, using software, etc. And then it will be, of course, we can discuss about temperature, flow meters, and I told that Mr. David that it is this what we see here. It's old version. The old version was designed and was produced in cooperation with other company. At the moment, from the beginning of this year, we launched a new product, fully designed and produced in Aplisens of this type of device. Menu is completely different, electronics is completely different. So at the moment, it's no sense to discuss about this old one. So I will tell you some few words about new one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me
yes.
Introduce our team, and I try to explain our team what you mean. My name is David. CEO and tech engineer. Mr. Jack from the commercial department. He take care about the commercial issue. Mr. Vincent and Mr. Tom to cover the technical issue for the Aplisens product instrument.
Technical and commercial, preparing the offer.
We have two teams. One team for commercial issue and one team for technical. Technical, that means they prepare document and marketing media to visit client and to send client information about the product we want to buy. Hôm nay thì ông sẽ giới thiệu mình về công ty của Aplisens ha, về sản xuất, về những dòng sản phẩm của họ ha. Họ có những cái dòng sản phẩm về áp suất, nhiệt độ, lưu lượng gì đó, những cái dòng sản phẩm về smart theo hard protocol và những cái dòng sản phẩm của analog của 420 đó ha. Thì trước đây thì flow meter thì họ gọi là concrete để sản xuất container thì okay, first we say good. Okay, yeah.
So would you like translate, or I can speak English and you understand?
Speak just slowly for them to understand. If there are some point important, I will stop you and translate and explain to you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So first, Aplisens. We are quite a young company. The company was founded 25 years ago. Was founded after the transformation in Poland from communistic to the democracy. Was founded by 6 engineers, and still the company is in the hand of these engineers. At the beginning, the main product, or the first product of company produced were pressure transmitters, differential pressure transmitter, hydrostatic level probes. All the three groups based on the same rules. We are using piezo-resistant sensor for build this type of device. Of course, during this period of time, we start developing and launch new products like digital indicators, power supplies and separators, flow meters, positioners, temperature and sensor and transmitter. It is the whole group at the moment what we are producing. Of course, history briefly. 2019-92 establishing the company. Of course, 200 ISO, we introducing ISO certificate. In Europe, it's not possible to work with big companies without this certification. We establishing, of course, it was the time of developing of Aplisens, and we are establishing the subsidiary companies in different type of industrial cities in Poland. 2014 first expand for other market. It was Belarus, Russia, and Ukraine. And 2004 we start sell to Europe. 2005 we introduced Profibus PA equipment. 2006, of course, the next subsidiary company. Milestone, it was 2008, Aplisens started to listen on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
At the moment, only 22% of shares are on the public space. Others are still in the hand of the people who established the company.
Yeah.
And of course, here we have the whole developing of our sales in European countries. So we are establishing the subsidiaries companies. Of course, till 2014, the main production was located in Poland. But in Poland, Mr. David saw that we have the limited space there, and that's why our management decided to build a new factory, new modern factory. In the factory start working in 2014. It is in Radom, located near the Warsaw, 100 kilometers from Warsaw. 120, something like that. 2014, we established a company in Romania. Okay, and the last one, I don't know why it's not here. In 2015, we opened additional new factory near Krakow. There we produce temperature sensor and transmitters. In the past, we have the smaller space, only rented place. At the moment, we build quite modern factory. Group of Aplisens today, it's Aplisens as a mother company, and other, for example, subsidiaries companies are here, where we have, for example, influence on it. Group Aplisens today in Poland. Of course, complete product. The production is located in Poland completely. We don't have any other place where we produce this type of device. The technology and know-how is Aplisens matter. We don't produce any equipment, any components in, for example, in China or in Asia or in other country, India, and then came and assembling only. No, complete. We would like to have a full influence for the quality of the product. That's why we decided to minimize as much as possible subcontractors or suppliers for this type of device. So generally, sensor we design and or mechanical equipment the same we produce in Aplisens. Sensor we assembling in Aplisens. Electronics the same. We have S&T department where we are assembling electronics, the same, it's design and assembling in Aplisens, and then complete the as a ready device. Yes.
Is there any possible if you produce some part in China, but you still get the seal certificate or not?
You mean seal?
Seal.
Yes, I think it's possible, but we've never thought about it yet. No, it's for us. We are focusing on the. As I mentioned, for us it's very important is quality. Of course, you can produce. I'm not saying that in China they produce the low quality product, because of course the quality is every year is better and better. But you must be there, and you must control. You must put your for example, quality standard for such company. We are not so huge company that, for example, it would be worth for us go there and produce, I don't know, for example, 25 or 30,000 electronics board, because for China factory is nothing, as they are producing millions of these equipments. Yes. Yeah. That's why we invest a lot of money for the device what we can use for production to produce electronics, for example, components in Aplisens. Yeah. At the moment, Warsaw, it is the map of Poland. Yeah. Here is the seaside. Here is the mountain area. We have, for example, here is the Warsaw. Here is located the head office and production of the smart transmitters. Radom is the new factory. Here we produce mostly sensor and mostly transmitter in series in big, for example, quantities for stock, for example. Krakow is the same. Here we produce temperature sensor, temperature transmitters. Flow meters like orifice, nozzles, pitot tubes, mechanical flow meters. Ostrów Wielkopolski, here is we produce here electronic components, electronic equipments like displays, data loggers, yes, and some additional equipments what we have. Automotive equipments for example for cars, level for tanks of big trucks or etc. Such equipments. Aplisens in Europe, of course, we started expand in more than 10 years ago to Europe, and at the moment we for example we built and opening new subsidiary companies in Romania, Czech Republic, Germany, France, and of course we have subsidiary companies in Russia language countries, Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. In other European countries, we mostly work with dealers. So the biggest market for us is with dealers is Scandinavian countries, UK countries, Italy and Spain. It is the biggest market for us if we talk about business partner. Yeah. Because of course where we have subsidiary companies.
Subsidiary company, that means the company can assembly.
No. It's mostly as I mentioned, production we have completely in Poland. There in the subsidiary company it's only sales office, but it is fully influenced by Aplisens. Yes, we have fully influenced because we are the owner of this. Yes. And the company we can control and we can put our vision of sale of the product.
Okay. For another brand, maybe subsidiary that the company. Or location they can assembly.
No. Yeah. It is here the view of the Aplisens in Poland. Here is in Radom. It is a very modern factory. There we have a mechanical department and all equipments all area where we can produce. Here we have about more than 5,000 square meter production area there. Here is the Krakow new factory, about 1,300 square meter area. Yeah. Annual sales revenue, of course, which you can see from 2007, we more than double sales. At the moment, we have about 23 million euro turnover. The structure is more than 65% is for export, about 35% is for the domestic market. Group of Aplisens today employ more than, at the moment will be more than 400 people in Poland. Of course, I'm not counting the people in subsidiary companies who are working for us. Produce about 7,000 transmitter per year. So I mean transmitter, I mean the sensor. The sensor, and from the sensor we produce smart transmitter, analog transmitter, level probes. Yes.
Yeah.
But it is more than 70,000 transmitter. Sell to more than 80 countries all over the world through our sales network or subsidiary dealers or representatives.
Yeah.
More than 65 goes for export. Main product, of course, what you probably you.
So after finish, you send us this file. You can send with us this file.
You mean the
presentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand that if, for example, you had a chance to learn a little about the product what we have, yes.
Yeah.
And the main product, as I mentioned you, it is the pressure transmitter, differential pressure transmitters, level probes. It is the group of products based on the piezoresistant sensor and hydrostatic measurement level, yes. Of course, we have in all this group we have different type of products. Starting from, of course, it depends on the client, requirement. Yes. Starting from analog one to the small one. Here we have analog signal 4 to 20, 0 to 10 volts.
Cái sản phẩm này mình có ở đây chứ. Đấy. Lấy một vài con nhiệt độ luôn. Con này có màn hình nữa.
It is, as I mentioned, it is simple device. From factory, leave the device with fixed range. Of course, for client, we are saying that it is fixed range device. But as I told you, David, it is the fully adjustable device, but adjustable for our business partner. So you can, for example, take it on your stock, and you can simply set completely this type of device. Of course.
So in future, if we want to set up the ring, we can invest the pressure station here or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, this type of device will need pressure source to calibrate it.
Okay.
Of course, this type not demand because it is smart, it's hard, and inside you can nominal range you can set range whatever you want.
Đối với cái range này thì cái range của họ nên đó là được set up bên nhà máy, nhưng mà trong tương lai mình sẽ đầu tư cái station này để mình tự calibrate được. Và để calibrate này thì nó phải có cái software áp suất thì mình cũng bấm hoặc là cái view đấy. Còn cái này thì cũng cần như bữa trước Phầm làm rồi thì nó có hạt của cô rồi cũng cần nữa. Okay.
Yeah, that's why, for example, of course, it is analog one, and differences between analog one and the smart one is the following. Of course, for end user is the accuracy, yes.
Yeah.
Because in analog one, the accuracy can be 0.25%. In smart one is 0.075%. Yes. So a few times better than analog one. Why is the difference? Of course, the whole technology and whole the process of production. In analog, of course, piezo-resistant sensor is a very simple element and simple relation between the pressure, what we pressed on the sensor, and the signal, millivoltage signal, what we will receive from the Winston bridge, what is, for example, in the sensor. But the problem is with that the element temperature has a huge influence for the characteristic of the piezo-resistant sensor. So that's why, for example, we have to, as a producer, to achieve the good accuracy, we have to first of all eliminate the error from temperature effect. In analog one, we are using special design electronics, only electronics. It is hardware what is on the electronic board. In smart transmitter, we are using first is the electronic board, and other is digital compensation. First of all, we learn, we check what is the characteristic of the sensor. Then we, for example, we are, if we know what is the characteristic of the sensor, in simple way, in the processor we can make the process of linearization, so compensate the errors in particular temperature. And all for example, from what source transmitter know what is the temperature, current temperature of medium. Because in the transmitter, in this transmitter, smart transmitter, we have 3 temperature sensors. You can, for example, even you can display the temperature on the computer or even on the display. One is one temperature sensor is near here, for example. Other is in electronics. The main electronics, what is here, and the last is in the main electronics with the display here. So we have 3 temperature sensors. So if the transmitter know for example, it is calibrated for some pressure. Yes, so know what is the pressure, know what is the temperature. So in the processor can make the process of linearization, yes, to have right characteristic. That's why the difference in the price and in the technology. Yes. Of course, if client accept, for example, the simple one, for example, water treatment industry, dairy industry, milk industry, yes. Of course, for them, the simple one is enough. Accuracy is enough. Mining industry, the same. It is enough for the application. Of course, the device is available for. We can have the device starting from range 2.25 millibar to 1,000 bar. It is the range for what we can, for example, produce this type of device. Of course, it's available with ATEX certification, EXEA or ECEA, so it is in the international one. Marine certification and Seal 1 certificate, it's available. Of course, if client required better accuracy, we have additional 2 options. One is the transmitter external view, it looks like this one, but is with hard protocol. It's called PCE28 Smart. So it is, for example, shape is exactly like this one, but you have full hard communication, and of course the 2 temperature compensation process. One is electronic and one is digital, and then we receive accuracy 0.1% in this type of device. If client required the local display version with the best accuracy, for example 0.075 or 0.05%, then we must suggest client the most advanced version. It is APC 2000 ALW. The same in this case, we can minimum range can be, for example, 200 Pascal. What we can set.
From my understanding, the accuracy of the pressure sensor come from the 2 reasons. One for the sensor and one from the electronic, right?
Of course, you know, for example, sensor is of course the one reason of the one source of errors. Yeah. But of course, the same in the electronics. You have the components, what, for example, are like capacitance, resistance, all the electronic elements of electronic. What are on the board? What has different values? So error depends on the temperature. So of course, the error, additional error is.
This is the accuracy, the total.
Totally. Okay. It is total. The accuracy in Aplisens, the accuracy include hysteresis and repeatability. So it is hysteresis in the accuracy.
So in case if the pressure, different pressure or pressure with the diagram seal.
Yes.
So the accuracy.
Of course, accuracy. You have to, for example, take under consideration accuracy of ready device, raw device. For example, ABC 2000W, APR 2000W.
Yeah.
If you mount diaphragm seal, from theoretically, you should the medium what is inside silicone oil should not make any error for any influence for accuracy if is in the same temperature, ambient temperature. And if we talk about diaphragm seal, only additional temperature what we must take under consideration is temperature from changing of error from changing of the temperature, because in different temperature the oil inside has different parameters, and it has influence for additional error. But only this additional error you have to take under consideration. In the constant temperature, like ambient temperature, the diaphragm seal doesn't have influence for the accuracy.
Cái độ chính xác của cái thiết bị đấy là đang nói đến là cái độ chính xác tổng thể nhá. Trong một cái thiết bị thì thông thường, ví dụ như áp suất này là nó đến từ hai nguyên nhân. Một là từ cái condenser. Trong cái phần của mình đây là lưu ý là nó ở đây nó có cái sensor đó. Ở trên này có cái phần điện. Điện thì các cái linh kiện về điện đó, thì nếu nói tổng thể của độ chính xác là phải đến từ hai cái đó. Nhưng có những trường hợp ví dụ như mình vừa gặp trường hợp của thằng Yokogawa với Mika, thì cái độ chính xác của nó phải tổng hòa của cả cái con sensor đó và cái cổ diaphragm seal nữa, thậm chí là chúng lắp đặt nữa. Cho nên có một số cái thiết bị nó nói là độ chính xác của nó đó, đúng không? Nhưng mà ví dụ như trong trường hợp này Mika riêng và Yokogawa riêng, độ chính xác đó là mới có cái phần điện thôi, chưa có phần sensor chẳng hạn. Thằng này là lưu ý là có lẽ nên để ý đến là độ chính xác là tổng thể ha. Yeah.
And the most advanced, as I mentioned, of course, this type of device are used in different type of industries. Of course, for different type of industry are needed different type of certification. So this type of device is available with, of course, with ATEX or ECAX certification.
Yeah.
But both. It possible is intrinsic safety (EXCA) or explosion proof (EXD). Depends on the application.
Yeah.
What is the standard in Vietnam? Both or more EXCA or EXD?
It depends on the position installation of the device.
And for example, in oil and gas, EXD is the most common.
Because, as you know, for the ATEC, maybe depend on the zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Yeah.
Yes.
But normally the both. Yeah.
Because for example, in Poland, EXD completely not exist. Application. In always the loop is built as a EXCA with barrier, etc. EXD no.
Chứng chỉ về phòng chống cháy nổ ha, an toàn. Another certification are, for example, SEAL 2 for oil and gas industry, for power plant industry, for this type of device. Marine certification, so certified by Bureau Veritas or German Schiller. So it could be that this type of product without any problem we can use on offshore market, yes, or ship market. Of course, this type of device is another certification is, but it is mostly European. It is MID certification or PD certificate, but it is mostly in Europe. Probably here it's not common certification. Yeah. Of course, this type of device is available with different type of housing. Of course, standard is aluminium housing, but for some industries like offshore or mining industry, aluminium can be not acceptable. That's why this type of shape of housing is available as a stainless steel housing too. Okay. Normally the price for the stainless steel housing is expensive.
Yes, it's more expensive. Yes, production is more.
But just you in the chemical and oil and gas only.
It's depend. Of course, it's mining for sure because
Mining mostly
aluminium is not it's forbidden. If you are going to the zone, ATEX zone, for example, in mining industry, we are talking about the second industrial zone, industrial area, but mining area, because it is split. Not all ATEX device can be used in mining. It has to be certified for mining. For example, you can see in the catalog if you will look. Here you can see, for example, it is 2. It means industrial zone.
Yeah.
But 1 means mining. It is separate group of certification. And it is only version with stainless steel housing because for mining zone, if client required from you something like 1 M1, it's
M mean mining.
Mining, yes. It is for sure. It is it must be element from stainless steel completely. Aluminium is forbidden in mining industry.
Thế là có những cái phiên bản mà cái housing cái vỏ các vật liệu nó làm bằng cái thép không rỉ ha, còn những cái có thể bằng nhôm cũng được. Nhưng mà giờ thêm cái chỗ mà cái khu vực mà khai khoáng mỏ á, trong cái khai khoáng mỏ, mining nước mỏ thì họ yêu cầu có những cái phụ kiện cũng như là cái vỏ, cái vật liệu phải làm bằng stainless steel, thép không rỉ, chứ còn nhôm không chấp nhận được. Ở đấy bữa nay anh biết được cái chỗ mơ một mơ hai này. Trước đây chỉ biết được các cái gì tech thì vùng một ví dụ cũng hay như là công nghiệp thông thường một là okay, thank you, valuable information.
Of course, this type of device, what is advantages of this elements like this IPC or APR? Then for you, for example, for after sales service, after some period of time, for example, or if something happened with the sensor or electronics, the information is that the device has modular construction. It's not that everything the electronic with sensor are dedicated. Electronic is dedicated to the particular sensor. No, electronic is universal. Sensor is separate things. Always on the application, if sensor is broken, you can order only the sensor and replace the sensor.
How can you replace?
For a moment, later I will show you. Okay. I will this moment completely the elements. Okay. And you will see.
So you mean this time? The sensor broken, we can replay.
Yes,
separately.
And the same electronic. If it's burnt electronics, if something happened on the over voltage or something like that, in simple way you can you can remove electronics and mount new one. And 2 elements are completely independent. So mount only together electronic and sensor, and you have new transmitter. Yes.
So that is one of selling point of our product or not? I mean, another brand product, the same product from another brand can do that or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Of course, in most of cases, I think, for example, like big brand like Emerson, they do not allow
to separate.
Yes, do not allow, for example, other not authorized companies to unscrew and mount, yes, because they would like to earn the money on the service too. And then there's at the same. I didn't hear that, for example, they are allowed. But for example, in our case, we are able to, for example, if we sell the whole instruction, etc. And if you will do according this instruction, the device is fully. We are offering client guarantee and still is under warranty, so it is advantages of the.
Nhưng với những sản phẩm kia ha, dòng sản phẩm đầu tiên họ có thể thay thế riêng biệt nếu như sensor bị broken hoặc là điện bị broken, nó độc lập hoàn toàn.
Other, for example, what we are doing on, and other brand know is it's mostly if we talk about pressure transmitter with diaphragm seal. You know, it's the all this type of elements.
I think transmitter with diaphragm seal difficult to assembly and calibration.
No, but I would like to tell you that, for example, in what we are doing in sugar plant, for example, where they are using a lot of this type of device.
Yeah.
After, for example, campaign, of course, the biggest problem is that, for example, the diaphragm element of the diaphragm seal, the diaphragm steel element can be broken mechanically, heated or scratched by the, for example, by operator. In other brand, it is, for example, for them it's rubbish. You have to throw completely and then order new one. In our case, we can do, for example, renovation of this type of device. So it is advantageous because you don't have to buy a new transmitter.
But in that case, need to return the transmitter with diaphragm seal for you.
So always, for example, what I'm doing with my partner, for example, in South America, after sugar campaign, for example, they collect from all sugar plant where we are supplying this type of device. We know that, for example, in sugar plant they have 4 or 5 months of the maintenance process. So they stop production and then dismount everything, clean everything, and assembling once again. So after, for example, during this period, they collect